Good morning and welcome to Mornings on Main Street for this Monday, April 17th. I'm your host, Stefanie Miller. Coming up in our show today, we get the date and time for Clarksville's upcoming Shred Day event. We also hear why Shred Day events like this are a great way for you to keep your personal information out of the hands of someone looking to take advantage of you, and how businesses show that it's important to keep your personal information safe. Then in our Let's Eat segment today with Main Street Nashville's food writer and columnist, Mayhew, we get to hear about another fantastic Asian restaurant that has some phenomenal hibachi and sushi on the menu. She'll take us there in a few short minutes. And then clean comedian Mickey Bell recently sat down with Main Street Media's Devon O'Day. Well, this morning we have the pleasure of sharing this interview with you, so stick around to hear Bell's journey and how through his comedy, people are being inspired and motivated. But first, let's get a check of our headlines. A Tennessee Senate committee passed a change to the bill that would amend a law originally passed in 2011 to set to be the first implemented at the end of this school year, where students must show proficiency in order to advance to the 4th grade. Senate Bill 300 would allow a second state test to be used for students who are not deemed proficient by the TCAP results. Now, if the student is in the 50th percentile or higher on that test and are rated as approaching proficiency on TCAP, that student could advance on that basis. So this bill now heads to the full Senate. Read more about the bill and its companion bill by going to mainstreetnashville.com. We continue to be pleased with the overall tax growth for this fiscal year, and we are anxiously awaiting to see April tax receipts. Words from the Department of Finance and Administration Commissioner Jim Bryson. Now, the March total of $1.6 billion in collections were $174.5 million more than budgeted and $65.8 million above the 2022 numbers. Go to mainstreetmediatn.com to read the total amount collected so far this fiscal year. And then a statue honoring Grand Ole Opry member Charlie Pride now stands at the Ryman Auditorium Icon Walk. Pride's wife, Rosine Pride, and his son, Dion Pride, were in attendance for this unveiling. Pride now joins the likeness of beloved legends Loretta Lynn, Little Jimmy Dickens, and Bill Monroe. By going to mainstreetnashville.com, you can read more from the unveiling and the words from Pride's wife and son. Well, we have a lovely day today to kick off this new week. Will the sunshine and pleasant temperatures continue? Well, let's check in to see. We hear now from Tennessee Valley weather.
Hey folks, happy Monday to you, and thank you for stopping by the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. I'm Ben Luna, here with a check on your forecast for today and a glance at the rest of the week. Yesterday, this guy passed over the mid-state region, a cold front, and that's brought in some slightly cooler air to the area today. But don't worry, we're going to be flirting with the 80s in no time. Now, you heard that right. Futurecast as we step through today reveals nothing but plenty of sunshine. A gorgeous day on tap across the area. We're going to maintain a nice looking forecast all the way through today. Tomorrow, too, maybe just a few more clouds in place for your Tuesday, definitely by Wednesday. And then say Thursday into Friday, well, that's where our next rain chance will come into play. And at this point, I think we could be looking at a few thunderstorms creeping back into the area for the latter half of the work week. Here's the full breakdown. Today, again, a little bit cooler thanks to that front from yesterday. Mid-60s across the area, bumping back to the mid-70s tomorrow. Here come the 80s for your Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday, still a good-looking day, but as we head through Thursday, a warm sector is going to set up across the area. We'll be watching for these thunderstorms Thursday night into Friday. Some of those storms might start to be a little bit rocky. We'll watch that closely for you. And then Friday, that front passes on across the area. We are cooler as we look ahead to the coming weekend. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a blessed day. We'll talk to you soon.
Tennessee Valley Weather was brought to you by Fred's Flooring. The Main Street Awards voting in Rutherford County is happening now. Don't forget to go vote for Fred's Flooring. Go check out their products at 490 St. Andrews Drive, Suite 105 in Murfreesboro, or give them a call at 615-645-3565.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Welcome back. So we are talking about the upcoming Shred Day happening here in Clarksville, Tennessee. To tell us all about the event, why it's happening, why it's important, which is huge, we have Melanie Thompson from the Better Business Bureau here in our area. Melanie, always a pleasure to see you.
Oh, same for you.
Thank you. So first off, why is a Shred Day important?
The Shred Day is important because it does at least two things. It helps with Earth Day and recycling and the environment, and it also helps secure your identification from con artists and scammers that want to take money from you.
And unfortunately, we continue to hear about this happening where they're taking vital information from people and they're using it. And unfortunately, the innocent ones, you get screwed, which sucks.
Yes.
So on this day, bring out your personal documents here to Clarksville Gas and Water. This
Yes.
is happening the 22nd, correct?
Yes, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. or until the truck is full. Last year we had almost 140 vehicles that came through. So get here early and bring all your documents, your tax statements, your credit card statements, all that stuff. Anything that has personally identifying information in it that you want to come and bring, and it'll be shredded on site and you don't have to worry about it anymore.
You know, and some of you out there may be wondering, okay, why is this important? Why are you telling me this? You know, yeah, okay, we know to shred our documents. You know, every market that I've worked in news, we've had shred days. We've had multiple shred days, and we always highlight it again and again because though you say, yes, I know it's important, it's something that you just push away until something happens to you or a loved one. And it really is so easy. Grab up all those documents, stuff them in a trash bag at home, and just put them in your car. And I'm guessing you'll have people out here to remove those trash bags for everyone coming in.
We have our volunteers from the BBB Advisory Committee, the local one here. We'll have people also from some of our sponsors. We have Gas and Water. We're very thankful for that, for allowing us to have it for the second year in a row. Stone, Rudolph and Henry and Ultra Federal Credit Union. We'll have all kinds of people out here to help you get that out of your car to the shred truck and shred it.
Even better than that, too, also, you get to put a face with a name with the individuals at your BBB here locally. So in case you have a question or you want some information, they're here on hand to answer that for you. And you said you're also going to have like a swag bag kind of?
Yeah. Stone, Rudolph and Henry is providing a swag bag with some good information and things like that on ways for you to learn about sustainability. Clarksville Gas and Water has put together a postcard with some information on it, whether it's electrical, plumbing, water, any different ways to help the environment.
And you're looking at that card now, so you're kind of running down the list as you see it. So it starts with the, you have the lighting, the HVAC, the equipment and appliances, air quality, water quality, and waste reduction. So some valuable information for you. But once again, before I ask Melanie the final question for this interview, once again, the time on April 22nd when people can start coming out.
It's 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Okay. So you only have a couple of hours.
Yes.
How often do you host this? Is it once a year? Or
we typically have done it once per year. It's always the Saturday after April 15th or taxes.
Oh, so. Tax time. We are in that the last little bit. Any other important information we need to know right now that you guys?
I would say one important tip besides shredding your documents is that once per year you're allowed a free credit report, and you can get that from annualcreditreport.com. To take a look and see if there's any activity on it that you are not aware of, which would be a red flag for you to check out.
So that's free. Does it knock your credit in any way?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I know that's always a concern.
Yes, always a concern.
Any other recent scams that have come up that we should know about?
Well, it's typically always the same ones, unless there's a weather-related incident, then there's going to be a scammer for that. Any kind of incident that makes national news, there'll be scams for that. There's always puppy scams and all of that stuff that, I like talking about. Yes. And also, romance scams, and especially phishing and email scams. If you get an email that you don't know who it's from, don't click on it, just report it to junk. Because if you click on it, it means they know that you're a live person, and that's also with texts.
Very true. And if we wanted to connect with our Better Business Bureau, how can we do that?
They could go to bbb.org, and they can find all the information they need there.
Melanie, always a pleasure. Always appreciate just chatting with you. Also, something else you're working on right now, the Best of Clarksville. Is that in the works?
It's in the works. We're starting to plan. We're taking charity applications. So go to the Best of Clarksville website or Facebook page, and you can, if you're a nonprofit and you're interested in being one of our designated charities, fill out an application and get it in to us before April 30th.
Thank you so much for that. I'm sure Melanie's like, we were just talking about one thing, I'm not prepared for the rest. But if you would like some kind of backstory, go back to This Week in Clarksville, some of our first episodes. We talked with a couple of the recipients from what was raised from Best of Clarksville last year. Really just kind of informative and let you know where your dollars are going. Melanie, always a pleasure.
Yes.
Once again, you have our shred day here at Clarksville Gas and Water on April 22nd. It's a Saturday from 9 to noon. Stick with us right here. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
Welcome back. It's time for our Let's Eat segment with our food reporter and columnist, Catherine Mayhew. There is a new hibachi grill in Franklin that is sure to, I'd say, blow your mind a little bit. Catherine, can you expand on this place?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's called Takumi. It's in Cool Springs. For reference of anybody who knows Cool Springs, it's the same shopping center as Trader Joe's, Bed Bath & Beyond. And I was just not prepared for this. You walk in, and the first thing is there's this huge hostess stand with giant Mickey Mouse figures. It's like, okay. And then the hibachi rooms are the first thing you see. And then you go down a hallway and the whole floor is lit up with a revolving thing of images from 3 cameras in the ceiling. And then there's a giant video of swimming tropical fish. And then when you sit down, you will notice that there is a robot going by taking people their food. It's like, okay, is a robot entirely necessary? No. Is it fun? Yes. Yes, you want to sit where the robot is.
I can almost see, I'm trying to picture people's reaction, wait, what is that? Or is that what I'm seeing? Am I seeing what I think I'm seeing?
Everybody around us, when the robot came to our table, they were all looking at it. And then, of course, when it started going to other people's tables, it's like, how does it know? How does it know what table it's, I don't get it.
Well, what about the food? Is the food as good as the atmosphere?
It really is. And let's start with hibachi. For anybody who's had a kid knows what these things are. It's a huge table with a griddle in the middle, hibachi chef who's generally like an acrobat, flipping things in the air, catching them on spatulas, twirling them around. It is the best kid entertainment on the planet. And the reality of it is hibachi is just a really good stir fry. So it's not like it's a revolutionary thing to eat, but at Takumi, it's just a really good hibachi. They use really, really fresh ingredients. The chefs know what they're doing. And the shrimp hibachi that I had was just really delicious, succulent shrimp, a great sauce. But I think the real stars are in the more adventurous side of the menu.
Okay.
And everything they do is done with an incredible eye to detail. If you get a sushi roll, it doesn't show up just lying on the plate. It shows up tiered with different heights and tropical flowers and sort of rice confetti. And it's just, it's so pretty. that you know it's going to taste good, and indeed it does. Their sashimi is really, really fresh, and that sounds like a strange thing to say, but if you eat a lot of Japanese food, sometimes not so much. Their fish is just impeccable. Their presentation is impeccable, and we had a yellowtail and jalapeno appetizer that I could eat as a main course every single day. It comes in these little individual spoons. There's 6 of them. And it's the yellowtail, which is a real mild, almost sweet fish, sort of curled up in the spoon with uzu sauce underneath and then a jalapeno on top. And it's just the perfect one-biter. It's so delicious. And it's not blow the top of your head off hot, but it's just that perfect combination. The yuzu sauce is that citrusy, ponzu-based sauce with a little soy sauce in there, a little rice wine vinegar, and then the fish and then the jalapeno. And it's just, I was licking the spoons.
Making sure you got every last little bit.
It was embarrassing. They also have some things that are just not usual for a Japanese menu. They have baby back ribs.
Okay.
Tamarind glaze. And they have meatballs, which is so not Japanese. But they do it with a Japanese spice blend and another kind of glaze. There's just a lot of really interesting things on the menu that you just don't see all over town.
It sounds amazing. So the atmosphere sounds great. The food sounds delicious. What about the price point?
It's going to be a little expensive. Fish is expensive. And if you want to get really good fish, it's going to be a little more expensive. I think the yellowtail was $17. But for something that you'll walk out of there smiling about and you'll remember it, it will become a taste memory for you. I'll happily spend $17. I think the sashimi, they do a lunch portion if you want to go, a little less expensive. And I think the sashimi was around 14, which is really not bad. And the hibachi, you will get enough on your plate to bring some home. So I always talk about amortizing out your lunch. If it turns out to be really expensive, but you get 3 other meals out of it, then you can amortize it down and go, okay, that's good.
And then the name of the place is Takumi. Is that correct?
Takumi. Yes.
Takumi.
Yes.
Fantastic. Catherine, thank you for sharing this with us. Always look forward to what you're highlighting, both, in the paper and then here as well. So thank you for that. Takumi in Cool Springs. Be sure to head on out there. Catherine, until the next time, we appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate y'all. You take care.
You too. All right, stick with us here on Mornings on Main Street. We have more after this commercial break.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Welcome back. We have the pleasure this morning of sharing a great interview with you that was recently done by Devon O'Day. Devon sat down with clean comedian Mickey Bell. Well, this morning, hear about his journey and how he is using his words to inspire and motivate others.
We are here with Mickey Bell. I call him my little brother.
Yes.
But I do it for a reason, because from the minute I met you, I had a connection with you, because we both are connected through a couple of things. One is humor.
Yes. You got to have humor. Got to have humor. If you're going to make it in this life, you got to learn how to laugh. If you're going to have pain in this life, you got to learn how to laugh, or you're never going to make it.
That's true. It's true. Now, you have been on stage. Now, this year's been a great year for you.
It has.
Opening for Shonda Pierce. Now, if you're going to be in clean comedy, she is the queen of clean.
She's the queen of clean, and she invited us to come out, and we did 25 dates, I think, with her, and it was just great Never seen that many women in one place. But that was fine. We had a great time, and she kind of poured into me a little bit on that trip and just kind of got me into the groove, and it was a good time.
And also being on the road with a Grammy Award-winning singer, Jason Crabb. Now, you and Jason Crabb have had a long-standing relationship of joy.
We have joy. Jason and I, we actually started during COVID. The year was 2020. Just in case y'all forgot, the year was 2020, and we were actually going in and helping churches reopen those that had shut down because of the virus. We were actually going in and we were doing some free concerts to help churches reopen. And he left his bus at home. I didn't have a bus at the time. And so we just really got to know each other. Or I say no, we got to know each other better. And then we just became really close. And now we're family. So we always love it when we get to be on the road with Jason.
My favorite thing is when you ask him about his school mascot.
Jason, we always have that moment, and people say that it's their favorite part of the concert, and that's when Jason calls me back up on stage with him. But that is his most nervous moment because he just never knows what I'm about to do. And my goal is to just mess him up. My goal is to just make sure that he gets so uncomfortable, and I usually do it. And one night we were at a concert, and I don't know, we got to talking about something on stage, and I just looked at him, and I wasn't expecting it. He talked about going to school at Beaver Dam High School. And I went, ooh, Beaver Dam? And of course, then he said, stop, don't. And then everybody just got to laughing. I just said, well, what's your mascot? He said, beavers. And I went, oh, good, you should have told me that. You should have told me that. We've had fun with that ever since.
I love the rapport that you have. But as a solo comedian, I mean, you've had some real milestones like in Birmingham, selling out a secular comedy club in minutes.
Yeah, it was my first time there. And I didn't really realize it. I was about to walk out on stage that night. My first time ever performing at the Stardome in Birmingham. First comedy club, first time at Stardome. And the owner, he came backstage, ran backstage right as they were introducing me. He said, hey man, I just want to let you know, you've officially sold out the place. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I went on out, and then afterwards he said, I don't think you understand what I said. I went, you said something about me selling out. And he said, yeah, but you are one of 2 comedians that has ever sold out the Stardome Comedy Club on their first appearance. And I was like, oh, okay. Then it kind of sunk in. And the other comedian, by the way, was Kevin Hart. And so he said for the first appearance to be able to sell it out. And we did it. I mean, it was crazy because we did it on a Tuesday night. So it was a weeknight. It wasn't even a weekend. We did a weeknight. And I just pushed it as clean entertainment, clean comedy. And people responded. And so it was a great night. It was a great milestone within the first year of me doing this. So people are just blown away.
You started doing some more solo things. I recently
This year,
I'm so proud of you because I'm starting to, and you follow Mickey Bell, on social media. But you just played a theater on your own.
Yes. So there was a radio station in Bristol, Tennessee. And they always had a comedy night every year. Once a year, they would do a comedy night for families. And it's for all their listeners or whatever. They have this Paramount Theater that they it's gorgeous. It's a very nice theater. And so the first year they did it, they had John Crist. Second year they did it, they had Leanne Morgan.
Wow.
Third year was COVID, and fourth year was me.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh. So they called up and they said, could you do a show by yourself? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I can do a show by myself. So we booked it. And then my agent calls me. He goes, do you realize what you've done? I said, no, what? And he goes, they're going to want you to do 90 minutes. I went, what? He said 90 minutes because I'm normally doing anywhere from 20 to 30 when I'm out with other artists on other
90
shows.
minutes is an hour and a half, y'all. It's like, oh my gosh.
A long time. And so so I just immediately started writing and I wrote my butt off. actually, to tell you the truth. I just went into writing, and we did it. And it was just, when the thing was over with, it was nice to be at the Paramount. It was nice to do a solo show, but at the end of the night, knowing that I did it. It was just, that's one of the major obstacles for a comedian is to be able to do a show by yourself, carry it that long, and the people love it so much. You know, they standing ovation, they stayed after, they wanted pictures. That meant a lot because it was like, I did it.
It was so huge, and I'm so proud of you because when I first met you, you were primarily doing MC work when we first met.
Oh, Devon.
And I've watched you grow, and I've watched you just blossom. But I want to ask, because this is Easter, and there is the life after death. Let's talk about the dark side of what you have experienced. We see the funny guy. Let's talk about depression because it's important with what's going on in the world.
Absolutely. And it's important in what I do because I never want people to think that I'm just up there trying to make people laugh just to make a living. It pays my bills, but I have a purpose. And my purpose is I'm trying to help every person there. If I can get you to laugh, even if it's just one time, I've proven to you that even through your pain, you can still laugh. And that's what I'm trying to get across to people. So once we tear down the barriers and we have a moment of laughter and we've had a time to where we can just laugh at some stuff, then we talk about my bout with mental illness. We talk about the fact that there were several times where I wanted to end my life. I did not want to carry on, and it was all from church hurt. And so I deal with that, and I talk about it openly. I'm very open about it. I've made some mistakes. And I've made some bad mistakes in my life. And people always ask me, well, what mistakes did you make? And I'm like, buy my first book and you'll find out. Because, you know, I'm not going to tell it to you for free, but for $14.99, you can find out everything I did. But I'm just very open about it because my thing is, it's one thing to go through hell. It's another thing to go through hell and not come out on the other side bringing people with you. So I am trying to bring as many people out of that dark place as I can. And I feel like God has given us the open door of comedy and humor and laughter to be able to do it. I was talking to my wife, we were talking this week, and she made the comment and she said, I said, what do you think about all this? Because things are happening so fast.
Yeah.
Like so fast. And she was like, there are just moments where it's just unreal. She goes, it's weird. And I said, what's weird? And she goes, to call you a comedian. We've been married 25 years. She's like, it's not like this was a childhood dream. It's not like when we got married, you said, now one day I'm going to become a comedian. She was like, you woke up one day and decided this is what I'm supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And she said, and you ran after it. And she goes, I still can't process that. But I feel like that once you get to what you're supposed to be doing in life, like I feel more fulfilled now than I ever have.
It starts rolling, doesn't it?
It does. And then it happens. It just really happens.
Well, that was great. Mickey, thank you so much for sharing all of that with Devon. Well, thank you guys for joining us here for Mornings on Main Street on this Monday. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Enjoy the weather, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.